We'd like to welcome our latest sponsor, Kangen Water. Learn more by visiting championsneverquit.biz. That's championsneverquit.biz. If you'd like to become a Defending Utah sponsor, go to defendingutah.org and click on the membership tab.
Defending Utah covers the stories others are just too often afraid to touch.
They don't nibble around the edges when it comes to pointing out threats to our liberty. They're not afraid to name names and call out organizations.
This is Defending Utah Radio, every Friday morning.
And welcome back to Freedom Friday. This is Ben McClintock from defendingutah.org, where we think right and wrong, not right and left. We are so glad that you've joined us today. We are in studio with, again, just like last week, we've got a bunch of special guests in the studio as well as calling in. But as usual, I am joined in studio with Micah Turner.
Hey, it's me.
And we've got with us our special, which was on our would always be with us on our Saturday program, Kevin Paulson.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Thanks, guys, for coming in today. And appreciate everybody's promptness.
Promptness.
Way to go, Micah.
Way to go.
Sometimes I'm trying to think of some random happenstance that I can relate this to. I don't know. You know when you like fumble something and like it falls in the toilet or something, and you're like, I couldn't do that again if I tried. That's kind of this situation.
Very nice. Nicely done.
So thanks. We have a hopping show we need to get onto, but the first segment we want to get with a very, very special guest. He is, I'm pretty sure, I hopefully I can't be sued for making this claim, but I'm pretty sure that he is the most censored. He runs the most censored YouTube channels out there.
Yeah, this is true. So Jeff.
So I'll introduce Jeff C. and Kevin Paulson will introduce him for us.
Oh, okay. So I'm excited to have Jeff on today because I first tuned into him when during the last Ebola scare. So that started in December, roughly, of 2014. And I was actually really worried about it, and I was getting masks. I was looking online to see if I could buy bulk masks, and I travel a lot for work, and so I was actually driving instead of flying because I was like, let's see if I can do it just in case. And then I just this is nuts, this can't even be right. And then I found Jeff C. on the radio, and he's the most censored, and we're trying to bring him in on Skype, but he is the most censored YouTuber in YouTube history, and he's been known as Free Radio Revolution, Fake News Report, Supreme Lord Commander, and now Jeff Censored, and many other handles, as YouTube has constantly tried to put him down. They can't manage to do it. He keeps popping up again. So I guess hopefully I did a good job with your intro, Jeff, but why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what got you into doing what you do?
Maybe.
Okay, so I am trying something different that I've never tried before, so this might not be working. So we couldn't hear you, Jeff, if you said something.
Technical difficulties. I can talk more about Jeff while we're getting that figured out.
Maybe I can switch it over here, and we'll see what we can do with this. So.
Yeah, for some reason your output on your laptop isn't coming through from the Skype.
Maybe it's my problem because it says muted, and I don't know how to unmute.
Wait, I just heard something.
Hello.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
Okay, now it's working. Hey.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Hey, no problem. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So.
Wanted to ask me about how I started doing this type of work.
Yeah, and obviously you talk about many topics on your show, but particularly one that was interesting to us was media censorship. And it looks like my signal's clipping, so go ahead and take the...
Yeah, am I still coming in?
Yeah, you're coming in great.
Okay, good. I started back in 2012, and just with a few friends, and we were just doing we'd have these discussions all the time, mostly about Agenda 21 and the social programming, the surveillance state, and all these things. And we're like, well, why don't we just tape them? We'll go live. And I came up with the idea of putting them on YouTube. And so I came up with the Free Radio Revolution. and did that for about a year or so. And then we stopped doing the group shows. I just started going solo, and been going ever since. And yeah, I've lost all these channels over and over again, had to restart. And it's not fun. The censorship has always been there. Like, it's always been there, but never anything like it is now. Now it's a whole new beast. And so I think now a lot of people that weren't being hit before are now being hit, and now realizing that you can't talk about certain things. And it's really a huge game changer, and it forces us to use all different platforms that we can find. So, like one of the platforms I've been using for the past few weeks is BitChute, which is named after one of my old channels, which you didn't mention. It was New World Agenda, but I've had so many.
Yeah, sorry, there's so many of them. I was going through your latest intro, which is really incredible, by the way. I was very tempted to play
Really
it.
Graceful. Yeah, I'm very blessed to have Really Graceful made that for me.
It's awesome.
So
but you have it flashes by real quick all of your previous handles. And,
that was actually her idea. So to show people that I lost a lot of channels. So yeah, the censorship is crazy. If you're over the target, that's the way it seems. It's like the closer you are. We see a lot of conservative critics now being censored, but not really in some ways, like a lot of these characters that like Louder with Crowder, Tim Pool. I mean, and they're not even, I guess Louder with Crowder would be a conservative critic, but they're not really being censored. Mark Dice, there's a whole slew of them that have been in some platforms. They have been deplatformed, I guess you could say. But they just go somewhere else. Not the same as people like myself, where we're crushed over and over again. We have no real, we're not connected to anything, so we're just completely independent. We're not shills, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
it seems like there might even be some fake censorship going on too, because it's both the left and the right. I just saw a post by a leftist group here in Utah that claimed to be that Facebook wouldn't allow them to run ads on one of their things that they were doing.
Yeah, that's right. What group was that? I don't remember.
Alliance for a Better Utah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so it seems like, some of this, is to make it look like they're being even-handed, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I would suspect that as well. I mean, it's hard to know because with YouTube, I can definitely, because that's the realm that I know really well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other realms. Like I got booted off of Facebook in 3 weeks, so I think my channel's still there, by the way. I just can't access it. So and that was like years and years back. So a lot of these platforms just don't even bother. YouTube, it's just you build up a channel and then it gets taken down. You build up another channel, it gets taken down. They just keep doing that. That's been the whole sort of method that I've used.
And it seems like it happens in stages, because like with us, our channel it's been demonetized and shadow banned. And so it seems like, it takes one step, and then the next step, and then the complete and total banning.
And I've noticed a new type of censorship within the last 3 or 4 weeks that YouTube's been rolling out. And that is they have changed the autoplay settings. So now if I listen to the Corbett Report on YouTube, it refuses to autoplay any more Corbett Report. It will just go, and it always goes into some other like fake, phony Pepsi Cola paradigm video.
Well, I know, Jeff, you always talk about what is twending on YouTube, and it seems like, and that in light of this Veritas undercover thing, which I have my own doubts about why that came out. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I did get a chance to catch the Project Veritas video, which I think is pretty important. But I am also skeptical of elements of it. Elements look like they're scripted, and I really don't know the outlet well enough. I'm just extremely skeptical of any really established alternative media because they usually tend to be controlled. So we've tracked a whole group of channels, hovering around the Alex Jones and the Rebel Media sort of nexus here that are all controlled, by the same people that control the left, in my opinion, right? Like that they just play off against each other sort of thing. So I really don't know enough about Project Veritas to make that sort of statement to see whether they're part of that sort of group.
And that's the thing you bring up Alex Jones, and it seems like it's a fake, it's a promotional banning because you shut down one channel, but he's got like 4 more that everybody's just going to go find real easily because you're telling everybody that he's shut down, and it's not a real banning.
Yeah, Alex Jones, okay, so it's very important for people to understand this. He is 100% controlled opposition. Now, he's going to give you some stuff, and they can't give you nothing, otherwise you wouldn't keep coming back. You wouldn't buy the bone broth, right?
Right.
But the guy was built up. Okay, so when I started doing this, like, I didn't even know who Alex Jones was when I started doing this. I really didn't. And the average person back, say, 2013, 2014, did not know who Alex Jones was. Nobody, outside the alternative media, people did not know who he was. Over the past 4 or 5 years, they've built him up everywhere. They've constantly...
They have him on CNN, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, CNN, Piers
Fox.
Morgan debates, Megyn Kelly, Fox News. He's appeared everywhere. So they built up his character over the past few years in order for this to happen, sort of thing. I believe that they use him constantly as an example, and so they built him up for many years, and then they censor him. But really, there's a very telltale thing, which is really interesting. Is Logan Paul, who has some sort of radio show, which, if you know Logan Paul, he's basically a YouTube employee. Pretty much all the big YouTubers are they are definitely meeting in secret with Susan Wojcicki and the other administrators of YouTube constantly, and they're creating these psyops. So this is one thing that I should definitely talk about tonight, because or today, sorry, that YouTube
I know it's been a late night for you.
YouTube has been manufacturing these, and I've done elaborate videos and Steemit posts on this subject, that YouTube creates these Hegelian dialectic sort of things all the time, where they have one of their employees do something really controversial, and then there's a strong reaction to it in the media, which I suspect strongly is all orchestrated. And then there is Susan Wojcicki and co coming in saying, well, we gotta fix this. And the latest example of that would be the Crowder sort of example, where
perfect. I think pausing point. We got to go to a hard break.
Yep.
We are joined with the most banned YouTube channeler, YouTuber Jeff C, talking about YouTube censorship. More on the Defending Utah radio program right here on K-Talk AM 1640.
Defending Utah knows how to fix that. It's called nullification. To find out more, stop by our office and pick up your pamphlet on nullification today. DefendingUtah.org. Think right and wrong, not right and left.
This Defending Utah broadcast is brought to you in part by K-Talk Radio AM 1640, Black Lotus Web Development, blacklotuswebdev.com, the United States Constitution Made Easy to Understand by Dr. Lonnie Crockett, available at the Defending Utah Liberty Store, Shem Financial Services, 801-856-6151, Trust Plumbing, 801-808-5470, Higher Calling Firearms, highercallingfirearms.com, Pioneer Family Scholars, American Appliance, 801-254-2566, and Anderson Accounting, 801-225-0396.
It's a fact. More photos of you are being taken than ever before. Are you ashamed of your smile? At last, a new technology that gives a brighter and healthier smile in under 2 hours. And it's fully warranted, so you'll never have to worry about your smile again. Call Dr. Jeremy Thompson at Thompson Dental, 801-254-0835, or visit GoNewSmile.com, and we'll show you how you can restore your faded, yellowed, or worn teeth without surgery, crowns, or implants. And it's backed by a 30-day, 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. This scientific breakthrough will painlessly transform your appearance in one visit. The smile you've been waiting for will never cost less or look brighter than it will today. Call 801-254-0835 or visit GoNewSmile.com. That's GONU Smile.com to revitalize your smile. New Smile. It looks good on you.
Can't get enough Defending Utah Radio? Then follow us on Facebook and subscribe to Defending Utah's YouTube channel. DefendingUtah.org. Think right and wrong, not right and left.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Everybody knows it's Freedom Friday when you got Micah singing along with the intro music.
It would fly to the Valkyries, bro. Dun 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 dun.
Kill the rabbit.
Kill the rabbit.
Welcome back to K-Talk AM 1640. This is Ben McClintock from DefendingUtah.org, where we think right and wrong, not right and left. We are so glad that you've joined us this Friday, June 28th. This is the last show of the month for Defending Utah. We're so glad that you've joined us. We have in studio Micah Turner.
True story. I'm here.
And mechanical engineer Kevin Paulson.
Oh, thank you.
Fancy pants.
That should be how we refer to you from now on.
Mechanical
Yeah,
engineer.
you were going to say Kevin. I say mechanical engineer Kevin Paulson. What do you think about that?
Last week we had on Rod Klingler from Defending Idaho, and we said he was the most powerful person in Idaho. So we've got to give everybody, all of our third guests,
awesome,
some kind of powerful title.
That's my superpower.
Well, that's a given. That's self-evident. There's no need for a title for self-evident fact. And you're too far away from the mic, so I don't know if anybody even heard that. But we are talking about, it's been in the news everywhere, about internet censorship and how all of the different platforms are shutting down voices that don't go along with the mainstream narrative.
And we're not talking about censoring offensive language or offensive, nudie pictures here. We're talking about censorship of political speech.
Ideas, right.
Yeah, ideas.
Traditional First Amendment shutdowns through of people who are saying things that, like you said, that's not just because it's offensive to children, but because it's offensive to the government is what the problem is. And so Jeff C. is joining us, and we really appreciate you talking to us today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
So we went to the break. You were talking about how there's some of these YouTubers that meet regularly with leadership of YouTube.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Okay, so it's very important to for folks to. I mean, we're just going to talk about YouTube, which is the second most popular website in the world. So number one is actually Google. It's right. So it's the same corporation basically.
These two websites owned by the same company are the number one website.
And the parent company, Alphabet Incorporated, owns a whole bunch of other corporations as well, which are very eye-opening. And this gets into the DNA collection and all that, but that's a whole other
I would assume that the head of Google is probably a member of the CFR, Bilderberg, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, the former head of Google, Eric Schmidt, is one of the top Bilderbergers. Like, he is perennial. He's there every year, and he's right next to Henry Kissinger. So this is,
probably your behind the scenes.
Slurping spaghetti together.
So what happens with YouTube, which we've mapped out over the past few years, is that I think I had a part to play in a lot of the censorship that came in because we were having a lot of success and we were exposing a lot of the operations, what we would call false flags, or a term you're not even allowed to use. Like, you're not allowed to use the term false flag in a video now on YouTube. In fact, they try to change the etymology of it or the language of it, so they apply the term false flag.
So when we put this broadcast on YouTube, we should maybe mix that word up a little bit to make sure that the video doesn't get shut down.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you put that in your title, there's an extremely strong chance that you won't even be allowed.
So
to
in the
upload.
title, it's not like what they do with the copyrighted music, where they do a word search in the audio. So if we say it,
Well,
it's
they
okay.
do that too. Yeah. Every day it gets more advanced, I guess you could say, in the ways that they can censor, and they want people to self-censor as well. So I suspect a lot of what's happened with Alex Jones and co. is about programming people, and you can't say this, you can't talk about that, and it's worked because I can't talk about those things anymore. So I can't talk about events that I used to cover. I can't even mention them, or I don't even mention them because I know that certain entities are watching, and that if I do mention them, they're going to try to flag the video and take it down.
Maybe if we reworded it as a story, like that'd be interesting if this happened.
Well,
yeah, exactly. So like I'm very skeptical of like major shooting events and bombings and stuff like that because I've covered a lot of them in the past.
And you do
that's where we were having a huge amount of success because we were reaching. Like if you were to take a time machine back to say 2014, like Kev mentioned the Ebola event that I covered, and I was getting millions of views, like even a day. Like some of my videos, many of them were over 500,000 views, and there was tremendous momentum. And we were dissecting that event and saying most of it was being scripted. And so, like what I suspect is that they reacted to what was happening, and they were like, well, we have to fix this. We can't allow these types of people to proliferate, but we can't make it look so obvious that we're destroying freedom of speech. So they whipped up the Flat Earth whole PSYOP, which they unleashed, and they've been using as a weapon ever since. So the Flat Earth has been one of the reasons why over the past year or so that much of this censorship has been unleashed. They tie the Flat Earth to people that are investigating 9/11.
But even that's kind of a dumb reason. I mean, if somebody's going to say, we're ruled by shape-shifting lizard people, who cares? It's ridiculous, and so just let the stupider, stuff go out there. I mean, it seems kind of a weird excuse.
Yeah, of course. But this is how they do it, because the purpose of the Flat Earth is to have a knee-jerk reaction for the general public to conspiracies, so that when somebody brings up, starts a conversation at a dinner table, saying, I don't know about 9/11, the official story. Oh, I bet you're a flat earther. That's the response that they want. So they attach the stigma
had that happen
of
to
the
me.
flat Earth over and over again. And so I won't get into it, but I know the flat Earth is an operation because that operation targeted me just before it morphed into the flat Earth.
Well,
so
if you
I know
want to, we can talk about it. There's no limits on that here, but
well, I think it's not all that important because unless you guys want to, because it's more about how they have managed to dismantle critical thought and stifle critical thought on their platform by smearing it. So it's like putting turds in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what flat Earth is, and another one is Mandela effect.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And these are just silly.
I hate
silly
that one.
Conspiracies that are easily.
There was even an X-Files episode about it.
Yeah, well, that's why, because it's not. It's an elaborate psyop. So it involves Hollywood. The Flat Earth operation, NASA is one of the biggest players in it that they bring out are people that are here to push that narrative and to make it popular and make it ubiquitous. So when they're doing the mic drops on the late night television shows and stuff like that, Gravity and stuff, and it's all about they want everybody out there to know that there's a flat Earth. There's a huge amount of people, or they want people to think there's a huge group of people on the internet that are crazy that believe the Earth is flat. And these are the same people that believe that such and such an event didn't happen, that the government's going after your gun, that there's a global sort of new world order happening, and the banks are running everything. And, so that's how they do it. This is how they deflate and turn people away from investigating further. And so it's a ridicule thing, right? It's like, oh, that's silly. Obviously that's silly. So, that's one of the methods. But that's not the only thing they've done. They've done a whole bunch of things. So with like Susan Wojcicki, for instance, you had the PewDiePie using Fiverr, which is a Israeli corporation, to get these Indians to hold up signs saying death to all JEWs, right? And that became a scandal, and then the Wall Street Journal came in, and there was all this blowback from it. Then you had Logan Paul, who's again basically a YouTube employee, who, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this guy, but it's wretched content. But these people are getting hundreds of millions of views a month, sort of thing. These are the most popular people on YouTube. And he went allegedly to a suicide force in Japan and took a selfie, and then they put that on #1 on trending YouTube, and they said, oh, it was a mistake, right? And then Susan Wojcicki came out and said, we have to censor all this stuff. We have to employ new algorithms because we can't allow this type of stuff to go forward. And then you had
because it just accidentally got onto the trend, on their recommended videos.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you did a video recently, Jeff, where you were showing what the if you type in searches the recommended what comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
It used to be that if you were looking for, say, 9/11, and you put 9/11 in, and probably one of the top things that would come up, the algorithms, was 9/11 is an inside job, right?
Right.
You're not going to find that anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find any of those videos anymore.
It's going to be some of the stupid popular mechanics garbage.
Well, I was laughing because you would type in men can, and it would say get pregnant, and like women can, and it would say
that's actually based on your searches.
And,
that's not their fault. That's yours.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
No,
you got yourself pregnant.
But
it's crazy. And that's like, for me, I've gravitated away from exposing the events to exposing the bigger agendas of social conditioning, and that's one of the huge ones that I've been all over for the past 4 or 5 years, which is the social engineering of humanity, the complete takeover of human reproduction. And so the YouTube, Google, all the major platforms, Twitter, Instagram, they're all employing the same types of mind control, I would say, where they're programming people into this. It's like the month of Pride. You can't escape the rainbow. It's everywhere, right? And it's crazy. It's out of control because we're talking about a very small percentage of the population, but you would think it's every second person, if not more, based on how much, just propaganda is pushed everywhere. So, the social engineering that platforms like Google are employing is scary. And so that's a great example. And I've been showing this for years. It's like, if you put in a search, you could do this right now. You go to YouTube and you put in a search, and I've been showing this for so many years, where you just put men try, right? You just put that in and look what YouTube suggests. And it's going to be men try women's clothes, women's underwear, men try pregnancy, men try menstrual cramps, men try, it's all men trying women.
Ben is typing these in right now as we speak.
Mine says it just has men try videos. The only thing I've got. I don't know what that means.
How do you try videos?
And then this one says men's Triton synthetic down.
Oh, you put 2 Y's in.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see one of the major outlets that is involved in this social. I mean, they're all involved. All the Disney media basically are programming humanity into this, but one of the worst ones is BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed have been doing this ever since they've been around, where they have their try guide. Try guys try women's this, women's that. They're constantly emasculating males on the platform, and this is a normal thing. So like the normal thing, like a lot of people, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of people most people. Yeah, a lot of people don't quite understand because you might be someone that goes to YouTube and you're into, like, say, like Kevin, you might be into mechanical or engineering type videos and stuff like that,
or
right?
My Little Pony. You might be into it.
That's what they want you to be.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. Your secret's safe with me.
Now My Little Pony's going to come up on me every time.
Yeah.
So you might be into just a specific sort of music or something like that, and you might be oblivious, although the suggestions are always going to be there on the side and all that. But it does kind of all blend together, because eventually you get funneled into their sort of rainbow unicorn eugenics programming. Like it goes into all elements, like all and so like the science videos, like that's another aspect of it. where YouTube, a lot of these channels have popped up over the past 4 or 5 years that are all basically like, here, we're going to teach you science, but they teach it to you like you're a 3-year-old or a 4 or 5-year-old, like with like really simple cartoon animation. And this is a dumbing down, and it's like this is like the blurring between reality and fiction is happening all the time on your media. So like a good example would be like the Discovery Channel making massive documentaries on mermaids, right? And they make I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but there's a huge documentary that the Animal Channel and Discovery put out on mermaids. And most people know there's no such thing as mermaid. But
that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, if you were there's no difference between how the presentation is done between like a real sort of presentation. Say if they were doing something on cats in like big cats in Africa or something like that. It's the same level of production. They employ the exact same tactics. They bring in experts. They're credited, right? And it's done in a very serious show. So like the average person watching the mermaid,
that, Ancient Aliens guy,
Oh yeah, Ancient Aliens. Yeah, did you see the Ancient Aliens Debunked? He like goes through like so much of that series and just like using their own footage. It's hilarious. They're like, obviously this isn't where a spaceship landed. It's called a plateau. This is so off the wall, the crap they put out.
So yeah, what they're doing essentially, I mean, like they are blurring the lines between reality and fiction for sure, but at the same time, they're trying to get everyone to go back and reinvest in their science and in their media. So like one of the characters I cover is John Green, the Vlog Brothers, and I often show him. And like a purpose of a character like that, who is constantly appearing in the White House, doing interviews with Obama in the past, Hillary Clinton and co, is to reinforce that you have to go back to the accredited sources. You have to stop using YouTube as a method of getting information, unless you're going to the New York Times channel, unless you're going to CNN, unless you're going to...
Yeah, that's all that
it
pops
seems
up
to be
now.
the same argument. Like back, I remember in the early 2000s, they were just like, you don't do research on the internet. They're like, oh, where'd you read that on the internet? Like, but now the internet's become so entrenched, they can't say that.
Yeah.
And so now they're doing... You can't... They're moving
you
to
can't
the new platform.
You have to go to the sources. Like you have to go, and this is all over the media. So that's what I say about the flat Earth, is that it's an operation that's there to put turds in the punch bowl, so that people start to become skeptical of the skeptics.
Turds in the
right?
punch bowl.
Like,
Perfect segue to our commercial break.
That's where I want my turds.
Yeah,
So
great.
we're going to be right back with Jeff C., the most banned guy on YouTube.
Tired of bureaucrats and tyrannical government? Defending Utah knows how to fix that. It's called nullification. To find out more, stop by our office and pick up your pamphlet on nullification today. DefendingUtah.org. Think right and wrong, not right and left.
This Defending Utah broadcast is brought to you in part by K-Talk Radio AM 1640, Black Lotus Web Development, blacklotuswebdev.com, the United States Constitution Made Easy to Understand by Dr. Lonnie Crockett, available at the Defending Utah Liberty Store, Shem Financial Services, 801-856-6151, Trust Plumbing, 801-808-5470, Higher Calling Firearms, highercallingfirearms.com, Pioneer Family Scholars, American Appliance, 801-254-2566, and Anderson Accounting, 801-225-0396.
It's a fact. More photos of you are being taken than ever before. Are you ashamed of your smile? At last, a new technology that gives a brighter and healthier smile in under 2 hours. And it's fully warranted, so you'll never have to worry about your smile again. Call Dr. Jeremy Thompson at Thompson Dental, 801-254-0835, or visit GoNewSmile.com, and we'll show you how you can restore your faded, yellowed, or worn teeth without surgery, crowns, or implants. and it's backed by a 30-day, 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. This scientific breakthrough will painlessly transform your appearance in one visit. The smile you've been waiting for will never cost less or look brighter than it will today. Call 801-254-0835 or visit gonewsmile.com. That's GONU smile.com to revitalize your smile. New Smile. It looks good on you.
Can't get enough Defending Utah Radio? Then follow us on Facebook and subscribe to Defending Utah's YouTube channel. DefendingUtah.org. Think right and wrong, not right and left.
Dun, 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 dun. Kill the rabbit. Kill the rabbit.
You are loud, Micah.
I'm always loud.
We are back
We have to censor Micah because of his volume.
We are back on K-Talk AM 1640. This is Ben McClintock from DefendingUtah.org, where we think right and wrong, not right and left. Thank you so much for joining us this Freedom Friday right here on K-Talk AM 1640. In studio,
Micah Turner.
And
Kevin Paulson,
the mechanical engineer. And we are...
and General Crazy Man, Ben McClintock. Is that...
It's Colonel Crazy, okay?
Oh, sorry. Colonel Crazy, Ben McClintock.
And we are joined with our special guest, the most banned YouTuber, Jeff C. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And so we were talking about how, all these different things that they put out there to kind of just muddy the waters, make it really hard for people to distinguish between what's real and just what's this garbage that's put out there as disinformation.
Well, yeah, there's two things. There's controlled opposition,
right,
where they try to make you look bad if you talk against the establishment, and then there's the manufactured narratives that they create to try to get you to think about certain topics.
Is he muted?
No.
Oh.
Are you still there, Jeff? Oh.
No.
I think maybe we're having trouble with the internet or something.
Oh, there we go. There we go,
Yeah.
Jeff. You there now? Okay.
There we got him.
Press the wrong button.
Ben's trigger happy with the buttons.
I knew it. I knew he was muted.
Okay. So restart what you were saying after we were...
It's happened over and over again. I compiled a lot of this in a massive Steemit post where I showed for years how ever since basically Susan Wojcicki's taken over YouTube that they've been manufacturing these. So this is just YouTube, but still, arguably the most visited site in the world, and an absolute monopoly when it comes to videos, right? And one thing that people should be very, very concerned about is that YouTube, when it was created and first came on the internet, I think that was in 2005. And you just think of it, YouTube, and it was just supposed to be a place where ordinary folks could come and upload their videos. And now I call it FemTube because it is anything but. It is almost completely controlled by the major corporations. And they are, they're taking control of all the narratives. So over the years, YouTube became like, when it first started off, it was just people uploading their cat videos and stuff like that, funny videos. And that, and then eventually people start to use it to upload, Building 7 and stuff like that, 9/11, and get important information out there. And then the corporations came in and said, we can't allow this to continue. We have to change it. And they've changed everything. So they have completely wiped out critical thought, more or less, on the platform over the years. And so they've created these psyops over and over again in order to bring in the censorship that they wanted to impose. And yeah, go ahead.
So something people regularly ask me is, well, how do you decipher between, what's the propaganda, who's the propagandist, and what's the guy... on both sides, like what's the guy that's pushing the mainstream line? Who's the guy that's putting the poop in the punch bowl, and then who's the guy that's telling the truth?
Yeah, that could be tricky. Of course, because it's not like everything the corporate media puts out is going to be concocted and fake and all that. And
the sun really did come up today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's
You
not
can
like
bet your bottom dollar.
that people that are doing this, people like myself, and you guys that are doing this type of work, are always going to be right about what we believe or what we believe is happening, right? So I guess, to try to filter out what is real and what isn't, you would look to see if the person is affiliated, is being promoted by any of these, these media outlets, if they're connected. Like I mentioned before, people that are connected to Alex Jones's show and the rebel media in Canada should be held with the highest skepticism. Tommy Robinson, people like that, Paul Josephine, I always call him Paula Josephine Twatson, Mark Schuldeis, like these characters that have been established years back, like over a decade ago. We Are Change. There's a whole list of characters.
Mark Dice, just on a personal note with Mark Dice, he called me back in 2005, actually, trying to, I think at first his job was to get people arrested because he was trying to get me. He was like, yeah, we need to go take over the government. We need to go, do violent revolution. We need to go do bombings. We need to go do shootings, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you advocating, Ben? Just kidding.
And so, that's what the kind of stuff that this goes back to the FBI program called PatCon, where a lot of these guys, where they look like they're patriots, but they're actually out there to get people into trouble.
Oh, yeah. Adam Kokesh is a great example of that, where he tried to lead, a couple thousand people on an armed march on Washington.
Yeah.
And so it never happened, of course, but all these people signed into it. So right away, the government knows who you are.
If somebody's got an email list on an armed revolution, it's a government psyop, guys.
So stay off of it.
That's the type of stuff. It's very difficult. Mark Dice threatened to sue me. It's several times. So we were exposing Mark Dice back in 2013, 2014, and it was a completely different realm then. Mark Dice was disabling all his comments, his ratings, because he was just getting absolutely annihilated because he was basically trying to counter what we were putting out at the time. And we were questioning the major events, the shootings and some of the bombings that were very, very, very suspect, like the one that happened in Boston. And so these guys came directly after us, and Mark Dice was uploading videos debunking my videos, and he was getting so assaulted in his comments that he would disable them and stuff. And then he threatened to sue me and all that. And then what happened then is Mark Dice and Alex Jones, all of the alternative media, Watson, all these characters jumped on the Trump bandwagon. Because like before Trump came around, there was no answer in the two-party system, according to most of these established alternative media outlets. And then all of a sudden, that was thrown out the window once Trump came around, and it was a clear sign that these alternative media outlets were not what they claimed to be, in my opinion, sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's part of what controlled opposition does, is they're supposed to take a fringe group of people and bring them back into the fold. And that's exactly what Alex Jones did with taking swaths of people that were following him and believing in Trump.
Well, you look at the Ron Paul campaign and just how much online. He dominated the narrative online. Everything he said, it's like no matter what the media did to try to silence him, and it was everywhere. And now it's like, they've tried to transform that group toward Trump.
Yeah, exactly. And Trump is the ultimate polarizing figure. Like, he is purposely put there because half the people are instantly going to hate him. And so it's working like a charm. And he's likely going to be replaced by a woman in the next, that's my prediction, the next election. And then they're just going to go the opposite direction.
So you think that he's going to be a one-termer?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he'll be two.
If it's possible. It could be two. It's possible. But it doesn't really.
Sure, it doesn't really matter. But yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
Good, fair enough. Fair enough. Doesn't really matter.
They get what they want, right? And so, like, for me, it's like when the whole Trump campaign started, it's like, why I mean, are we really going to play the game where we're going to pretend that the two-party system is really representing people, and this is the way that this country's or our countries? I mean, I'm in Canada, so but what happens in the United States is so important to everything that happens in Canada.
I always blame Canada. So
yeah. It's like that. Blame Canada.
Look at our Prime Minister.
Blame Canada.
So, but yeah, it's to me, it's a fool's game to invest in their hand-picked sort of puppets that they're installing and using to trigger, and create the divide and conquer, which is never been more apparent than, in my opinion. I've never seen anything like what we've seen since the Trump administration has been installed, sort of thing. The divide and conquer is massive, and it's all reflected in the media as well. The media, the movies, the Marvel, Disney, Star Wars sort of universe that they've got, Game of Thrones, all these things are all part of your conditioning, your programming. Mm-hmm. And they are all reinforcing these characters and these stereotypes and triggering people and mirroring much of what the propaganda that is put out there by the establishment and
normalizing it. You've got Disney, you've got what's it called? You've got the Marvel and the Star Wars all just pushing the rainbow propaganda, gay supremacy.
WXYZ?
Yeah, a great example too. A great example of that, and I talk about it a lot, is Elsa. All right, so I've never seen the movie Frozen, but I've seen the segment which I covered, in which they had the gay baker and his family in the sauna sort of thing. Yeah. Which is a very, very shocking thing to put in a movie, but nothing should surprise us at this point. But like I covered it back when it first surfaced, and it was like fans demand Elsa has a lesbian partner, and it's like, and it's manifested. So now, just recently, the new trailers for the upcoming Frozen 2 or whatever is coming out, and they basically confirmed that Elsa is a lesbian. And of course, under the guise that these people are underrepresented, and that, but it makes no sense because, especially in royalty, I mean, the whole purpose of marrying is, to procreate and, to stop wars from happening and, bring alliances and stuff like that. So it makes no sense whatsoever. No, there would never be a princess that would marry another princess. But this is where we're at. Yeah, this is where we're at. So imagine 5-10 years from now.
Oh yeah,
it's exponential.
Elsa will be changing her gender. I mean,
well, and you'll follow the Harvey Milk route and having Elsa marrying a 8-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering, where's the hope? I mean, it's all this gloom and doom, but I guess it is. Are people going to wake up to this censorship? Is there any hope that people will realize? Because when I type a search in, I just get nothing but CBS, NBC.
Well, that's why you don't use Google. You got to use.
Well, I think that the vast majority of people have already left the platform, because you look at nowadays, like a viral video on YouTube is like 1 million, 2 million hits. A couple of years ago, a viral video on YouTube was like 100 million, and the numbers of the viewership of YouTube has basically dropped to the floor from where it was several years ago, and And now they're trying to get people back by basically making going anywhere else illegal, like in the UN, or not the UN, the European Union. They're starting this program where it puts the liability for copyright on the platform. And what that's going to do is it's going to make anyone who wants to make a YouTube type website, they can't do it because they won't have the technology and the hardware to basically pre-filter videos. And if they can't do that, then they're going to get their pants sued off of them or something. Yeah. And we're walking a little bit of a fine line here by implying that YouTube is violating free speech. they've got all these government contracts, so I don't think they have the right to do whatever they want because of that, with all their data collection and stuff, how they work with the government. But it's dangerous, because to try to say that they have to be free, and then the way they want to do that is they want to implement these laws that control it, And what that's going to do is that would make them into a monopoly.
Well, yeah, and this is why it's getting out that there's censorship and why that's on the main platform. And they're starting to talk about trust busting, right? And coming in and breaking the companies up, and that'll give them an excuse to go after any tech companies. Perhaps.
I mean, anything they do, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to try to turn it into something terrible.
Yeah. And where is the hope then? Yeah, it's true, because that's what they're doing. They're making it all but impossible for an average person just to be able to upload videos discussing serious things. Like if you want to discuss, cats and trannies and stuff like that, well,
how about cat trannies?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
but you'll be 20.
Yeah, or
Caterpillar transmissions?
You want to react to the mind control trailers, the Disney movies and stuff like that, this is what YouTube is. It's actually it's very important to point this out too, because as I said, I mean, YouTube used to be just, that's what it was. It was just you put up your videos. Now, I understand there has to be some censorship. You can't have people put in child porn and stuff like that. I mean, that's obvious, right? But when it comes to freedom of speech, I mean, it should fall within the First Amendment, right? And people should be entitled to have their opinions. And this is what they can't stand, because if you have people that are successful, like I was, and many others that were doing similar work, in breaking down these massive events that were happening, being used to bring in all kinds of surveillance, and like 9/11 is an excellent example. Just an excellent example.
Just kind of wrapping up, what are some things that people some good platforms to suggest, and then where can they find you?
Yeah, good platforms. Maybe BitChute. That's where I've been lately, uploading my more controversial stuff.
And that's BITCHUTE, BitChute. Yeah. And they can search for Jeff Censored, right? Or no. It was.
Yeah, you could search Jeff Censored, or you could search New World Agenda, one word sort of thing. And you'll find my stuff. On Twitter, I'm at Free Radio Revolu, ending on a U. And on YouTube, I'm still there as Jeff Censored. So you just look up Jeff Censored. You should be able to find me, hopefully. And yeah. But yeah, where do we go? Up, right? We have to, constantly adapt and find new platforms. So hopefully that will, fill the void. Sort of
Absolutely. Hey, Jeff Censored, thanks so much for joining us right here on Defending Utah on K-Talk AM 1640. Make sure and check out defendingutah.org every day. New articles are as well as our archive shows, as well as original content that hasn't been on our show. This Defending Utah broadcast is brought to you in part by K-Talk Radio AM 1640, Black Lotus Web Development, blacklotuswebdev.com, the United States Constitution Made Easy to Understand by Dr. Lonnie Crockett, available at the Defending Utah Liberty Store, Shem Financial Services, 801-856-6151, Trust Plumbing, 801-808-5470, Higher Calling Firearms, highercallingfirearms.com, Pioneer Family Scholars, American Appliance, 801-254-2566, and Anderson Accounting, 801-225-0396.
It's a fact. More photos of you are being taken than ever before. Are you ashamed of your smile? At last, a new technology that gives a brighter and healthier smile in under 2 hours. And it's fully warranted, so you'll never have to worry about your smile again. Call Dr. Jeremy Thompson at Thompson Dental, 801-254-0835, or visit GoNewSmile.com, and we'll show you how you can restore your faded, yellowed, or worn teeth without surgery, crowns, or implants. And it's backed by a 30-day, 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. This scientific breakthrough will painlessly transform your appearance in one visit. The smile you've been waiting for will never cost less or look brighter than it will today. Call 801-254-0835 or visit GoNewSmile.com. That's GONU Smile.com to revitalize your smile. New Smile. It looks good on you.